Hey there, everybody. Paller here, bringing you part 2 of the PlanetSide 2 for Dummies training videos. In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of the certification system, spending your cert points, where I'd recommend maybe a first few ones should go and everything, and how to customize out your different loadouts and everything. So you can see right now we're in the VR training room and everything, and this is because in here I can actually use all the different items even without unlocking them, as we showed you before, not just weapons. I can also use different abilities first. So it allows me to show you what these abilities are and do and everything. I can also then, through this, also show you how to unlock them. So certification points, or certs. If we look down here in the lower left-hand corner of our screen, these are my cert points. Right now I have 122 certification points. You gain a certification point for, now I believe it's every 250, but it might be 200. But for every 250 XP you gain one certification point. XP is gained several different ways, a multitude of different ways. Either via, so just killing an enemy gains you, I believe, about 120 XP. Killing an enemy vehicle gives you, I want to say, about 300 XP. Taking over an enemy base, like a big one, like a biolab or a tech plant, I want to say gives you around 700 XP and such. So you can see, like, normally killing about 2 enemies is going to give you 1 certification point. Killing 1 vehicle is going to give you about 1 certification point. Taking over a base is going to give you 3 or 4 certification points, depending on if it's in the middle of an alert or something, and so forth. You can also rack up certification points pretty quick by reviving people. We'll get into this later with a medic video, but like, you can revive people, and for each person you revive, you gain like 30 certs. And if you find a good battle in the middle of nowhere, or in the middle of a big battle, you can revive people at a fascinating, at an insane rate, and really rack up the certs that way. So to spend these certification points, there's several different ways. If we go ahead and we hit the escape button, and right here you can see in the bottom, the second from the right, this is the certification window. If we come in here, we can actually scroll through everything. You got your vehicles, you got your classes, you got your squad leaders and stuff. And we come under here, we can unlock different things for each class. And you'll see, like, this restoration kit requires 30 certification points. Infiltrator, this is advanced hacking, so he can hack faster. This requires 1 certification point for the first one. Now, I don't really like unlocking them that way. What I like, it makes it a little bit easier. If you go to an infantry terminal and come in on a class, you can unlock them via clicking on the different slots. So for the light assault down here, you can see I have a suit slot with nothing in it. So I can click on this slot and come in here, and I can see all the different options of things I can unlock for that. Now you notice most of these unlock for 1 certification point for the beginning of them, with the exception of the grenade bandolier and the adrenaline pump. The adrenaline pump is only a single unlock for all, so when you have this, you run a little bit faster. Where you can see these other ones have multiple stages. So the first stage is 1, the next stage is like 10, and then 100, and then 500, and then 1,000. It's different for different things, so it's not all going to be exactly that. One of the things that is actually really good to first unlock with some of your first certification points is, where did it go? The Nano Weave Armor. Increases your health. Now, so if I mouse over it, since we're in the VR room, I could equip right now this, and it would give me the entire effect for Nano Weave Armor 5, which is an increased health of 250. If I mouse over the unlock, it'll show you that for the first certification point, rank 1, actually only gives me an additional health. This might not seem like much, but when you take it into account, it's actually a very good cost per unlock to get. So by default, the base classes, you have light assault, combat medic, engineer, and heavy assault. These guys all have a default hit points or maximum health of 1,000. They have 500 base health and then 500 shields, meaning they need 1,000 damage to be killed. Infiltrator only has 900. He has 500 health, but then his shield is only for 400. It's a trade-off for the Infiltrator. And Maxes have, I believe, 2,000 HP base. It might be a little bit more than that, but I'm not sure. I believe it's 2,000. So you can look at this and you say, well, 100 doesn't seem like all that much. Well, what happens, though, let's go in here and we'll take a look at this GDF-7 weapon. So this weapon has a base damage of 143. What that means is in order to kill somebody with a health of 1,000, you have to hit him 7 times. 7 times 143 is 1001. So it does 1 more damage needed that required than it takes to kill somebody. Adding in 100 health means they would have to shoot you an 8th time to kill you. Might not seem like much, but in the middle of a firefight, it can save your life, especially when it's only 1 certification point to unlock. So for that reason, these are a great beginning purchase for most every class, is to get that nanoweave armor rank 1. Beyond that, because it only goes up to 250, so the difference between having an additional 100 health and an additional 250 health is very slight, but it's not enough considering almost every bullet's going to do somewhere around there. It's probably not going to give you 2 additional slots. It's kind of an all or nothing thing. Gaining 100 extra will give you 1 additional bullet. Gaining 250 will give you 2 additional bullets. Gaining what this middle is, only 200, still 1 additional bullet's going to kill you. So for the most part, you want rank 1, and there's no real reason to go beyond that until you're ready to go all the way to rank 5. At which point other things become more useful, like flak armor is good at resisting grenades. You can survive grenades, proximity mines, and such with this. The shield capacitor is kind of iffy. When you get it fully capped out, you can actually recharge your shields a good bit quicker. It's reduced by 4 seconds. I want to say it's a 5-second default, so your shields automatically start recharging like almost instantly, which is nice, but early on it's not all that great, and so forth. So I'm actually, let's see, for the light assault, we'll come back in here, suit, we're going to unlock rank 1 of the nanoweave armor. Okay, let's go back. So that's how you go ahead and you can unlock different things for different slots. If we click in here for grenades, we can see we can unlock flash grenades for this guy for 200 certification points, or smoke grenades. Under utility, we can unlock these restoration kits, medical kits, and C4. C4 is great for destroying enemy armor. You can drop it on them and blow it up. Normally 2 bricks of C4 will destroy most vehicles. And as a light assault, it's actually really nice to have because you can fly in over top of them. You can come in where they're not looking and drop it. Metal kit is a syringe that will heal you. It's a quick use item, so you'll hit, this will normally be in slot 3 or 4 depending on your loadout. You'll hit 3 or 4, you'll pull it out, pop it real quick, and it's a quick dose of health. By default, you only carry 1 for 50 certs, and then you can unlock it and carry additional up to 4 of them. Restoration kits are similar, basically the same thing. They're a quick heal. These, though, are kind of a slow regen, so it takes it 8 seconds or so to regenerate, but it gives you more health. So if you're out of combat, these are better to use. If you're in combat, these will give you a quick boost to survive. I tend to run with the restoration kits. So that's how you unlock items within here. You can also use certification points to unlock different weapons and different attachments. So we can come in here, we look, and we can see this NS7B can be unlocked with station cash. Actually, the black one can only be unlocked with station cash. Look at the white one. It can be unlocked with either 1,000 certification points or 700 station cash. The Bruiser can be unlocked with either 1,000 certification points or 700 station cash. Most weapons are either 1,000 or 500, somewhere in there. They're pretty high numbers. It takes a good bit of certs to actually unlock weapons. Most people actually use cash to unlock weapons, and then you use your certification points. The other thing they're used for, I'm going to go over to the Combat Medic where I've already unlocked a scope. I'm going to click in here on the scope. On the Gauss rifle and go into the scope. All scopes, so weapons themselves can be used, purchased with straight up station cash, which is the currency for SOE. It's across all their platforms with the EverQuest games and everything. Can be used here also. But outside of the weapon, any attachments and everything all have to be unlocked via currency, via station cash earned in, via certification points, which you earn inside the game. So you can't get a scope without playing the game or whatever, and so forth. I unlocked the 2x reflex scope with this thing for 30 cert points. All scopes, I believe, for every class. Let me just double check to make sure. Yeah, all scopes are 30 cert points. They're pretty low, which is nice. Other attachments tend to run 100 certification points. I don't want this. I want the Combat Medic. Come in here. So say I wanted to put a forward grip on this thing, it would cost me 100 certification points, which is a good bit more than the scope, but it's nothing crazy high. And every weapon does have their own independent loadouts that you can do. So come down here to the secondary weapon, we can put a suppressor on the handgun and so forth. That's where most of your certification points are going to go. Now I am going to open this up again, and something we saw in here. Actually, I'm not going to open this up. Well, I am going to open it up, but then I'm going to back right out of it. There are a few things that you don't see there, so I'm going to hit escape again, go back down here to the certification point window, and then squad leader. These are nice things. Once you're battle rank 10 and everything, you can unlock these. It'll allow you to comm channel, request reinforcements, and so forth. Now, these only work if you're in charge of a squad. So if you're just running by yourself, you're not in command channel. If you're in a squad, but it's being led by somebody else, you're not in command channel. Only squad leaders and platoon leaders and so forth are in this once these are unlocked. But these things can come in handy if you're going to be leading a platoon or whatever. These things are pretty much a must. Mainly the command channel. I like squad objectives. And then spawn beacon. This is a beacon you can drop on the ground, and people can hot deploy right onto it and everything. They come in on the drop pod and so forth. And I max rank this out as soon as I can, mainly because the higher the rank, there's two things. The quicker you can deploy, you can only drop one like every 5 minutes. By default, you can only drop one like every 20 minutes. So as you go up in rank, you can put it down sooner. It also reduces the cooldown timer for people to deploy on it. At the highest rank, it's only like 30 seconds, and people can keep deploying on it. It makes it a very useful tool. Let's see, the last thing that you're going to really use certification points on are vehicles. And we could do it through the certification menu, but again, it's probably easier to come down here to the vehicles. Actually look at the vehicle, and then just like your different infantry classes, these vehicles all have slots for weapons you can buy, unlock, and then utilities. Let's look at the Sunderer. The Sunderer has several different slots. The horn is pure cosmetic. This is only unlockable via station cache. It doesn't do anything but make noise. But there are several ones, like the utility slot, where these are actually very important. So if you remember, maybe from my earlier video, I was saying how this is kind of the workhorse of all three armies. Works as a transport, but it also works as a spawn point. If we just spawn this right now, it does nothing but run 2 guns and carry 12 people. If we open this up and we purchased and equipped Sunderer Advanced Mobile Station, or SAMS, the AMS for it, for 50 certification points. It will, I'm not going to actually buy it right now, but if I click it and then go back, you'll see there's now this little bubble on the roof of it. This guy can now be parked and deployed and work as a spawn point. People can just spawn on it really quickly and everything. So this is a must-have for assaulting an enemy base and everything. We can also go back in there. There's some other things you can get. This gate diffuser can be nice. You can actually equip up this Sunderer with pretty good amount of armor. And you'll see later on in some future videos, there's gates that vehicles can't drive through. You actually saw it in the tutorial where there was a gate of the other color and you couldn't drive through till the shield blew up. This gate diffuser will actually allow the vehicle to drive through that gate. But unfortunately, when this is equipped, you can't also be an AMS Sunderer. So you can only do one or the other, not both. Defensive, you got blockade armor here. This is side panel armor that increases the durability of the vehicle. Vehicle ammo dispenser, so you can drive behind tanks and everything, and you automatically give them ammo. And for each time they resupply ammo off of you, you gain XP, which will eventually give you certification points. It's not a whole lot. I think it's like 3 or 5 per dispense. But it's enough, it adds up, and it helps keep armor moving. Mine guard's a nice one. People will throw tank mines down on roads. If you drive over a tank mine, you're going to get blown up. So this is a nice one to reduce that damage. You can actually take 3 or 4 tank mines with this before you're destroyed, and so forth. So just like you would do with your standard infantry classes, you go ahead and go through and pick what you want, unlock it. Well, obviously not horns. You unlock them with different certs, and you're good to roll. You want to make sure you do equip them then when you're ready to go. So if we click blockade armor back, and now you can actually see the blockade armor up there. As with infantry guns, the guns on your vehicles can be upgraded with different attachments. So let's say we wanted to put the Ranger on here. This is an anti-aircraft gun. We can also then come in here and unlock for it different optics. We can unlock zoom optics up to 2x, or we can do thermal. These zoom optics are pretty cheap for the base level. And then from there, the thermals are pretty expensive. The night vision's kind of middle ground. Thermal has a bit better range. Night vision has a shorter range, but it's cheaper, and so forth. It's pretty self-explanatory once you understand what you're doing, and you know where your cert points are being spent. The big thing is, remember, once you do spend the cert points, be sure you equip them onto your vehicle, otherwise they don't do you any good. And we'll do one last little quick bit and show you real quick. This can also be done with all the aircraft. They all have the very same thing. They have different slots, and for each slot you can get a different piece of equipment that you unlock with certs. They have weapons that you can get. The weapons tend to be pretty expensive. Actually, wow, these are pretty cheap. They've really gone down on the weapon prices for these. Those are a bit more like I would expect. So these are anti-air missiles. These are anti-infantry or anti-ground rockets. These are the heavy hitters on this guy. Come over to the Liberator. Look at the belly guns. I already have these all unlocked on my TR guys, so they're all available here. I have to imagine some of these are a little expensive and so forth. So the guns can be unlocked with Station Cast, which is purchased. Any attachments for those guns all must be unlocked via playing the game and acquiring certification points. It's kind of how they balance it out. The other thing, the way they do it is they don't allow none of the weapons. Few of the weapons are direct upgrades over anything else. So that is your certification points. Brief rundown of how you use them and everything, how you spend them. Go ahead and buy that Nanoweave rank 1 so you can take an additional bullet from almost every weapon, and you'll be off and running. So this has been Paler. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.